Well, hello everyone. This is Vegas Cycling Freak doing music stuff today. Instead of cycling or talking about how you could put an AR-15 in a carry-on or something like that. Anyways, this video is just to show you how you can take everyday things that perhaps you might throw away and put a do-it-yourself circuit inside of it. Or maybe not necessarily do-it-yourself circuit, but in this case, I went and bought a wallet from Kohl's, and it came in this little tin, and at the time I had been doing a little consulting work for a small boutique pedal company, and they had this ring modulator that they were trying to reissue, and somebody drew up a schematic and they made a PCB from it, and they were like trying to get it to work and they just couldn't get it to work, and they were like, hey, can we send this thing to you and have you look at it, see if you can figure out what the deal is with it? And I was like, sure. And so after hours and hours of reverse engineering their working unit and comparing it to the schematic and finding a bunch of mistakes and then translating it to how the mistakes were made on this PCB, you know, I came up with a plan like, here's what you need to do, there's a resistor missing here, and this value there is wrong, and this needs to connect from this point to that point, that kind of thing. And this is what I used when I was in that process. It was just handy. This is a little bigger than like a Hammond 1590 BB, which wasn't big enough, and I didn't want to go with like the next larger size, which is just too big. So this was laying around, and it's really handy to just use it. Now, this isn't something that would normally be on my pedal board, but I mean, even so, this is sturdy enough to where, you know, you could have it on your pedal board, step on it, not with all your weight, but, you know, just tap it with your toe, not a big deal. Anyway, so, you know, here's the inside. This is, as you can see, a very complicated circuit. It's got all kinds of stuff going on it. But we were able to figure it out, and it uses a 12-volt AC power supply. And you know, this enabled me to get everything in here for testing, and got it in a sturdy enough enclosure. I could use it to also be a common ground for the controls and stuff. There's one thing you can do with a tin that you probably would normally just throw away. You know, you can stick something in it. Now the next thing that I have here is my little Stratoblaster, which originally this little thing was this was like a little like candy tin that I think like some kind of little French candies came in. I've had this thing for like years and years and years, and originally I had made a two-tone oscillator that you know, the original intention with this was I was going to use this two-tone oscillator, which was supposed to be 1 kilohertz and 2 kilohertz, as a way to test things that I built to see if it works, if it passes a signal and stuff. It never worked right, and I had it basically in a box for like 10 years. I think I built this in like 2001 or something. So like, you know, over 15 years ago I built it. It was sitting in a box, and then one day I decided that I wanted to try this Stratoblaster circuit, and I decided to, you know, repurpose this thing. Originally the where these little rivet looking things are, there was originally screws which had been holding this printed circuit board inside, and I just took some little rivets basically and put them in there to fill up the holes. And originally it just had it had an output, it had a little switch to go between the 1 and 2K tone, and I don't remember, I guess this was a volume? I can't remember. Anyways, so I decided to repurpose it. I just drilled another hole on this side for an output jack, put in a bypass switch. The LED was already here, and when you open it up, that's what it looks like on the inside. Okay, I built it in 2003, I guess. Yeah, I guess that sounds about right. So as you can see, I squeezed all the stuff in here. I reused the existing holes, drilled a couple new ones. And interestingly, the previous pedal I was talking about, same company, were working on a pedal they were having a problem with that I wasn't able to figure out either, but it happens that one half of their circuit was actually a Stratoblaster. And so I just took that circuit board and cut it down and used it to make my little Stratoblaster. Because I've always wanted to kind of see what this circuit was all about, and since I've been playing a Strat these days, I decided that I should give it a try. So I built this little box, and I decided I liked it. And it's kind of fun, I like to repurpose things. Even if it's something I've already used. I mean, a lot of people probably would have said, oh, I'm going to toss that in the trash, the recycling or whatever. Not me. I'll hold on to this thing for like 10 years and go, one of these days I'm going to reuse it. So that's what I went and did. And I really enjoyed this little Stratoblaster. So there you go. Just a couple of things to show you. You can take everyday objects that most people would think is trash and recycle them. I've seen people use hard drive enclosures. I've even seen somebody made a pedal built into a Darth Vader head. And he used like his eyes for the LEDs and whatever. It was pretty wild. So, if it's something that you're just going to use in your practice setup, you don't have to worry about it being rugged and everything. It just needs to be an enclosure that's, like it shields the circuit. It's like a Faraday cage, and it just needs to hold your circuit. It's a convenient way to do it for really cheap. You can repurpose stuff. You don't have to spend money on an enclosure. The other thing too is sometimes this is really small. I just wanted to put it in something really small. Now obviously this is like 6 times bigger than the real Stratoblaster that screws into where your output jack of your Strat is, but I don't want to actually have one in my guitar. I just wanted to have it as an option. So anyways, hope you got something out of this video. Maybe I'll give you some ideas. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.